What? Why are you so mad? Hello everybody. Welcome to the start of a new vlog. It is Tuesday evening and I am getting out the popcorn because Andrew and I are going to watch the new Hocus Pocus movie tonight. You look very cute. Yes. This popcorn. A++. Plus. Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Andrew and I got about halfway through Hocus Pocus 2 last night before turning it off. If you loved it, let me know in the comments below. It was not for me, I guess. I love like Halloween movies, but I just didn't think this one was that great personally. So I'm on my morning walk this morning, as you can see. Funnily enough, I'm wearing my Olmsted hat. It's like a broken rib beanie. It's probably one of my favorite patterns that I've designed, except for I love all of them. I can't pick a favorite, but I do love this hat. I wear it all the time. And funnily enough, the Olmsted hat was named after Frederick Law Olmsted, who was the designer of Prospect Park. So that's kind of like come full circle. It's knit in a wool, a wash fingering. I forget the name of the colorway, but I do love this yarn. And I wanted another one. It's stretched out quite a bit because Andrew borrows it all the time, so I should just give this one to him and knit myself another one. I'm back from the post-wedding chop. Goodbye to like 5 inches of hair, probably a little more than that actually. It feels so much better, so much better. I wasn't getting it cut at all for like the later half of the year because I wanted to grow it out as long as possible for the wedding, to have the hairdresser have as much to work with as they could. So yeah, it feels good to have it a more manageable me length. I am loving my makeup today. I mean, it's all like the usual staples, but I think the star is this Merit blush. It's their cheek balm or something like that. And maybe the shade is called Cheeky. I can't remember. I'll link it for you. But yeah, love that. And got a little cat eye going. Feeling good. Hello. So Andrew and I are in the kitchen. We are making dinner. I made these dinner salads for us tonight. It has roasted broccoli, string beans, roasted red onion, roasted garlic. There's chopped up romaine, some fresh chickpeas. What else? Lemon, roasted pine nuts. It's a good one. And my love is making focaccia. Yeah, we definitely think our yeast is done because it's just not rising like it used to. So I really need to get a new container of it. Yeah, we've had it since like 2020, so I'm surprised it even lasted this long. Good morning, everyone. Today is a comfy day, as is every day, but I'm just wearing this really cute striped dress that I got from the thrift store not too long ago with my leggings as per usual, the ones that I love, and some cute socks. I really wanted to look through my yarn stash for a particular skein that I know is in my like reds and pinks box. I segment everything by color because I want this particular red skein to, yep, there it is. This skein of Brooklyn Tweed Arbor to cast on this headband. I knit, I forget the name of it. I will talk about it later once I look up the pattern name, but I knit this headband for my mom and for my sister a while ago, and I really need one for my walks outside because I like putting my hair up in a ponytail. And so I don't always want to wear a hat, but I love headbands so they can cover my ears. And so I think this will be perfect. I bought this yarn for that specific purpose when I was making those headbands, but I made theirs first. So now it's time for me to knit one for myself. If you can't tell, I love red accessories. Yeah, just looking through this stash of my pinks and reds makes me so happy. So many gorgeous yarns in here. A few days ago, I cast off these socks that I knit for Andrew. They're knit, I think this yarn is like a BFL yarn. I can't remember for sure. It's a German brand. I'll put it in the description box for you, but it's like a dark green, although it's showing up black on camera, but it is definitely a dark green. And then this skein of Plucky Knitter, it's like a cashmere blend, super soft for the contrast. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel, my recipe for a rounded toe, a 2x2 rib up top, and I like messed up the stripes. Like this was supposed to be a 6 stripe or 6 round dark green in between, but on this one I guess I forgot to do that. And then horror of horrors, when I was weaving my ends in, I thought I had already woven in these ends, so I just trimmed them, and then when I put them on the sock blockers, the stitches started running, and then I was like, oh no, and so I had to like race to pick them up carefully, but it looks really messy now. I apologize to Andrew, but of course he does not care. He just likes the hand knit socks in general, but he's really excited about this pair. He picked out the colors for it. He just really likes dark clothing, and so I insisted on adding some sort of stripe detail for interest, and I love a contrast toe and heel. I'm not much for a contrast cuff myself. I don't like contrasting cuff, but I love contrasting heel and toe. So I kind of want to knit myself a matching pair, but in like a different color scheme. Maybe I'll do red because I really love red or something like that. We'll have to see what I have in my stash that I could use for it. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how these turned out. So now I'm gonna go put these in his sock drawer so he can wear them. And for those of you who are interested, this is Brooklyn Tweed Arbor. It's their DK weight base in the Firebrush colorway. I bought this a long time ago, so I actually don't know if it's a like regular colorway or not, like if they discontinued it or something, because I know sometimes they do that. Hopefully not, because I love this shade of red. It's so perfect. So in the meantime, now that I've finished these socks, I've had like a real windfall of knitting mojo lately, and I'm not going to read too much into it. I'm just going to accept the mojo and knit my little heart out, so because I feel like it. So as I've been picking things up, rather than casting on a lot of new projects, although this headband is a new one, but I'm not really feeling like, okay, that's a lie. I am feeling a pull toward new projects, but I'm also just feeling like I want to finish whips that are in my unfinished whips stash, because I don't have too many. I have a shawl design, 2 shawl designs actually, that are on the go, and designs are always a long process for me, especially when they're not socks. Shawls are just different for me to think about. So I have 2 shawl designs, one using O wool and one using Stress Knits yarn. I have a half finished pair of Clark socks. So I finished one Clark sock and I just have to cast on another. The Clark socks are my pattern. It's my first ever pattern actually. So I have one of those left to knit. And then I have my Penguono, which I refuse to rip out. I'm not gonna rip that out. If you've been here for a long time, you might be familiar that I had like 3 yarn advent calendars one year, and I knew I wasn't gonna put all of those into my granny stripe blanket, so I thought it would be cool to make like a scrappy penguono, and I love it, and I feel like that's gonna be the most comfortable house coat ever. I mean, it would be really cool to wear out too, honestly, because they're all from dyers that I really love. So yeah, that has Stress Knits yarn, Sweet Sparrow yarns, and Knox yarn coat, and she doesn't dye anymore, which is like makes it all the more special to have, yeah, this penguono. So I refuse to rip that out. It's probably like halfway finished. There's a long ways to go on that. And then the other whip that I have is one that I'm definitely gonna rip out, I think, and that was Stephen West's last mystery knit along, which was called Shawlography, I think. I loved the color palette that I chose for it, but the design just like didn't work up to be what I like to wear. It wasn't to my taste. I mean, Stephen West patterns are so fun, and that's like part of the magic of knitting his patterns, I think, is just like the fun of the mystery knit-alongs especially, but the design just wasn't turning out to my taste. So I got like halfway into it and I was like, I'm never gonna wear this, and this yarn is too beautiful to use in a shawl that I'm never gonna wear. So I decided to stop knitting that. I haven't like ripped it all out yet. Here, let me get it. I'll show you what it looks like. Here's where I got with the Stephen West Shawlography pattern. I made a mistake there, as you can see. I liked it up until here, and then after that, like this section, and then this section, this section, this section, it was just like the whole thing kind of turned into a like, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, like way of like a toddler telling you a story, which sounds harsh to Stephen West. I'm sorry, I love so many of his patterns, so it's not a dig at him in particular. It's just this pattern didn't jive with me, but I love the yarns that I chose. They're so pretty. So yeah, I'm going to rip this out. I've already taken it off the needles. I've made my peace with losing it, but yeah, I do like the baubles section actually, but it's just not a cohesive enough design for me to wear during to wear, I guess, essentially. It's fun to knit, it's fun to look at, it's like an art piece, but not something that would really fit into my wardrobe. And then this, if you haven't seen it before, is my scrappy penguono. The penguono is another pattern by Stephen West. Like I said, I really like his patterns, and I'm not even halfway probably done with this, but I love it, and it's just so fun that I have all of these yarns in it from the advent calendar. So yeah, I was really enjoying this while I was knitting it, and I like how it looks. So I just want to keep going with this eventually. Yeah, those are my unfinished whips, essentially 2 shawls, which I haven't shown you, but I'll show you one of the shawls in just a second. But 2 shawls, Clark socks, and the penguono. The Stephen West shawl is getting ripped out. So yeah, I have 4 whips left, and I just feel like I want to knit on those, or at least on one of those, and then get this headband, squeeze this headband in while I don't want to work on the wrap design. So apparently the headband was called Headband with a Twist by Morella Moments. This is the one that I knit for my sister a while ago, and it's a no purl rib, which is amazing. But yeah, here's the pattern, which is free. It's a free pattern also. So yeah, I think this is really cute. It's really snuggly and warm. And I've made it with Brooklyn Tweed Arbor before, so I know it gets like a nice, like stretchy with recovery fit to it. So I really like this one, and I want to knit one for myself. What? Okay, so let me get you situated. I've had a few very exciting garden deliveries come through or arrive in the past few days, so I figured I would tell you about those. The first one that literally just arrived now, and I'm not going to show you the box because showing you it in the box is not going to change like what it looks like right now, but it's spring bulbs. So I'm very excited for my tulip bulb order this year. I decided for next year's bulbs, which you have to plant in the fall, in case you didn't know that, then I'm going to pare back the color palette I had. This is like very like frequently what I do when it comes to gardening, is I want to like try a little bit of everything, see what grows well in my garden, see what I like, what I don't like, plant combinations that I like. So I grew a lot of tulips last year, like a lot of different colors, which I love doing. But all together in such a small space, they don't really make like the level of impact that you can have in a small space as if I planted like a more pared down color palette. Really, if I had a lot of restraint, I would just order one tulip type and plant it in mass in the whole backyard planting area, but where's the fun in that? So no, I'm not doing that, but I am going to pare back the color palette a lot this year and stick to my favorites. So I'm doing purples, whites, and kind of like slightly like kind of yellowy apricot tones together, whereas last year I had all of that and bright red and bright pink and copper and like all these different colors together. So yeah, I'm paring it down this year. So my first bulb order arrived from Longfield Gardens, I think it is. I waited too late to order them, so I couldn't order them all from the same supplier, unfortunately, which would have been easier, but I wanted the varieties that I wanted, so I had to order from 3 different places. So the first one was from Longfield Gardens, and in that box that's in the hallway is my Charming Beauty tulips, which I think was probably my number one. Well, I can't say that. I love them all so much. I only got, I want to say like 4 varieties this year, maybe 5. I got 5 varieties this year. So the one that is in my order today is Charming Beauty. I'll put a picture on the screen for you to look at. And then the other thing that I got during the autumn and winter, I love armchair gardening, as I call it, you know, like dreaming about next year. And I went through so many gardening books. I don't really have that many that I haven't read yet on my shelf, so I wanted to stock up on a few more to read during the autumn and winter. I'm like a voracious reader when it comes to the things I am passionate about and wanting to learn more about. So I got several books to add to my collection. So the first one is this one. It's called The Curious Gardener by Anna Pavord. The Curious Gardener, A Year in the Garden. And this is kind of mostly what I was looking for. Unfortunately, a lot of the ones that I have are not of this variety. I really like the kind of more like storytelling aspect of gardening. So if you have any book recommendations in the gardening sphere like this one, I would love to hear your suggestions. These are some examples of ones that I already have, like lots of Monty Don's books, or these two are Monty Don novels. I've read several of those. This one called French Dirt by Richard Goodman is really good. It's about a guy who's an expat who starts a garden in Provence. It's really good. And then this one, which I have yet to read, I started it years ago and I never finished it, and I don't know why, because I'm dying to read this one. So this one will definitely get read this winter. This one is Animal Vegetable Miracle by Barbara Kingsolver. So I'm excited to read that one. But if you have any other kinds of books in this vein, like more of the novel type of book, it can be fiction or nonfiction, that's fine, but all of these are nonfiction. But if you have any recommendations, I would love to hear it. So yeah, this is my first one, The Curious Gardener, A Year in the Garden by Anna Pavord. And the other one in that vein is, this one's out of print, so it's a little bit more expensive to get here in the United States, but luckily I found it on eBay, I want to say for like $24 or something like that, which is the cheapest I've seen it in a long time. So I've been waiting to kind of buy it until I could find it for a good deal. This one's called Sissinghurst, Vita Sackville West, and the Creation of a Garden. So I'm really excited to read this because English gardening is my favorite style of flower gardening. And then 2 more. This one's called Designing Gardens by Arabella Lennox Boyd. And even though I don't love the design of this garden on the cover, I do actually like a lot of the designs of Arabella Lennox Boyd in general. So I just wanted to look at this to get a sense for, you know, once Andrew and I move someday, we're going to be designing a garden together. And so I kind of want to have some ideas for some planning about how I could design that garden. So hopefully this will give me lots of inspiration for layouts and such, and like how to flow the gardens. I'm really good at the interior, like the decorating of an established space. So like if you give me a room, I'm good at designing it. If you give me a garden, I'm good at designing the space that's already like created. What I'm not as good at, and Andrew is really good at this, is like designing the architecture of the space or the flow of spaces and how they go together and how they like nod back to one another in terms of like something on a grander scale, like architecture or design like of a garden layout necessarily, if that makes sense. So hoping to get more insight into that by reading this book. I'm more of a details person, I'm less of a big picture person. And then last but not least, The Natural Shade Garden by Ken Druce, if I'm pronouncing that right. There's a big shady spot in the back part of this garden, and shade gardens are going to be a part of probably any garden in the world. You like gardening under a tree, you know, or something like that. You want to create different areas. So I just want to have some more knowledge about shade gardening in particular, and what better garden to practice on than the one that I already have, because there's a really big shady spot back there to practice on. So I got The Natural Shade Garden by Ken Druce. I think there is an updated edition of this. I got all of these books from thrift books except for Sissinghurst, which I got on eBay. But this one was a lot less expensive and it's like not that much older, so I got this one. So that's my little book haul, my gardening book haul. If you have any suggestions, I would love to hear it, both for like big, like kind of oversized coffee table gardening books, and for the little ones especially. I would love to hear any suggestions that you have. And I'll show you any other bulb orders that come in as they get here. Also, get this, so you guys know how I was talking to you about the Merit Blush the other day? Well, they emailed me today to ask if I wanted to do another collaboration with them, which is like so exciting. I hope I'm allowed to say that. I haven't accepted it yet because I still need to read the terms and conditions of the collaboration, but I'm so excited about it because I love their products so much. So the fact that I'm like even on their radar is super, super exciting to me. So yeah, I'll tell you more about that if I am able to accept it. And yeah, so I was just really excited about it and had to tell you guys. Hopefully it's all right to say that. Hello, it's about 3:14. I say about, it is exactly 3:14, and I've had several hours of meetings where I've been sitting nonstop talking, so I'm going to attempt to get my, oh, it's not over here. That's why. I'm going to get my yoga mat out and do like a quick stretch. I was just thinking to myself this morning how much my body could really use like a good stretch right now, so I'm gonna do that. And this girl that I follow for a lot of like recipe inspiration, she posted a 7 days Pilates series of videos. I took Pilates classes back in the day when I was more into group fitness. This was like at my old job when I was doing things like ClassPass, but I'm not very good at Pilates because the teacher just always corrects my form the entire time. Where is this? Ugh, got it. The teacher spends like pretty much the entire time correcting my form, which is so essential, I feel, for Pilates. So I'm not very good at it, but I'm gonna give it a go. This is so weird for him, very uncharacteristic, and not for lack of trying throughout his life. I've tried. I wanted 2 lap cats, you know, but he's always been so much more independent than Mika ever was. Never wants to sit with you, always wants to sleep like at your feet. He's more easily startled. It's like he doesn't want to be held down in any respect or like feel like he's trapped in some way. So this is like crazy. He never does this, ever. I'm like blown away. I love it, but oh, there he goes. It was short-lived.
Beautiful place. I'm going to spin you around now. I don't know if you can see it over in the background.
is evening time. Dark outside already because it's getting darker earlier now. I am sitting on the couch watching YouTube, knitting on my wrap design. Here it is, by the way. I don't know, maybe if you've been watching for a while you might remember this design. Who knows, but it's a wrap design. We'll see how it goes. I'm liking it so far. Jafar is hanging out with me over here. I think in a couple minutes, Andrew and I are gonna go to the grocery store to get stuff for dinner tonight because we didn't grocery shop this week, so we've kind of just been like using whatever we already have around the house, but we are very low on groceries right now. So I think we're gonna go to the grocery to get stuff to make chili. Andrew's chili. It's my favorite. I think it's like his best recipe, in my opinion. It's my favorite thing that he makes. It's like so unique. I've never had a chili like his before meeting him, so I really love it. I'm excited to have that for dinner tonight. We're also gonna do a roast on Sunday and invite some friends over, so we're gonna get supplies for that, and then just like some other things to have around the house. Like I have nothing for lunch tomorrow. We're gonna go to Nighthawk tomorrow for movie and for dinner, so that's covered. But yeah, we just need some food in the house basically. Here's a better view of the wrap. You can see I ripped back to here, so I didn't have to rip it all out and start over, but it's quite crinkly right now from where I've re-knit it. Hopefully this will, I'm sure this will come out with blocking or like even up a little bit, but yeah, it's coming together. I'm liking how it's looking so far. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do with it at a certain point, but I'm just gonna kind of let it evolve as I go and not to put too much pressure on it to be perfect. That is a real theme of my life right now, is to stop stressing about stuff that doesn't matter and just make stuff instead of it having to be this perfect thing. I think when you know that you're capable of like amazing, beautiful things, you put this pressure on yourself to make it perfect and make it beautiful, but sometimes done is better than perfect. Making something is better than not making something at all. So I'm trying to just like not let myself get hung up on that stuff, and I'm gonna knit the wrap. I'm just gonna knit it. We'll figure it out as we go.
Pay no attention to the cans, we use only fresh ingredients.
Hey, you know, chili is chili. It's what's meant to happen. Oh, the secret ingredient, there it is.
Now the secret ingredient is
that. Everyone, it's Friday. Andrew and I are gonna go on a date tonight. Can hopefully wrap up some projects today. It's gonna be a good day today, I think. I've been missing Mika a lot lately. Such a beautiful morning. I'm almost finished with the walk, but I need to stop off around the loop early to go to the coffee shop because we are out of our own homemade coffee. We made more yesterday, but it's not going to be ready till tomorrow, so I'm stopping by the coffee shop to get a cup. Hello, I'm out in the greenhouse right now, taking my latest tulip order into the greenhouse. This is the one I was talking about yesterday. And then I've also got some new experiments with salvia cuttings. A while ago, I tried to take cuttings of my hydrangea. They did not go well. I think it was just too hot in this greenhouse where I had them. Although this is a shady spot, it traps a lot of heat, as greenhouses do. And so I think it just got too hot for them in here. But I'm gonna try again with these salvia, so we'll see how it goes. It's Salvia caridana. It's one of my favorites, but yeah, the garden is looking rather glorious still very green. Everything's kind of growing as usual, but there's nothing much that's really flowering right now. Love this. By the by, I love the sweater that she is knitting. I've had that in my queue for ages. Marilisa and I have like the same taste. She's knitting the Whitmore sweater, I think it's called. I'm talking over her right now. I'm sure she's telling us this, but I love this sweater because it reminds me of this sweater that I've seen from this brand called Cezanne that I love, and it's really pretty. So you should definitely check out this sweater pattern if you haven't already. The Whitmore, so gorgeous. As you can see, I have cast on and have started knitting the headband I was telling you guys about. I have my wrap that I could be knitting on, but I wanted to cast this one on because I really need, oh my god, my hair, because I really need a headband, or I'm going to be needing one soon as it starts getting colder, so I wanted to have this. And then also because this is easier to knit in the movies tonight than the wrap is. The wrap design is not hard at all, but you do have to like pay a little bit of attention to it in these beginning stages of the design. So yeah, so cast on headband with a twist by, I think it's Morella Moments or something like that. And yeah, I love this pattern. I've knit it 2 times already. This is my 3rd time making it, so I can have one for myself. Hello. Are you gonna say hello?
Hi.
We're on our way to the movie theater. Hey, it's like your catchphrase, you know? Hi. Hi. We're on our way to the movie theater. Sup. Sup, bros. Brosif. What's the name of the movie again?
See How They Run.
See How They Run. It looks like Clue. I'm excited to see it. Nothing can be like worse than what we saw last time, so.
Yeah, last time was horrible.
Funny Pages. Is that what it's called? Funny Pages? Funny Comics?
Something.
Funny something, and it was awful.
One of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Definitely. I am wearing a self-drafted dress that I made during holiday season last year.
I'm not.
No, you're not wearing a self-drafted dress from last year, but he was wearing a thrifted sweater that we got at the Big Reuse last time we were there, and it's amazing. I love it. It fits you perfectly. We're kind of matchy right now. I think it's like Banana Republic or something.
Oh yeah, Banana Republic.
Yeah.
So sad.
Yeah. I like Banana Republic personally, but anyway, yeah, I don't know why anyone would throw that out. Looks great on you. It's really good. Adorable. They always do the most like fun window displays. It's Saturday. We're doing a walk together today. We're going to the Greenwood Cemetery to see the cemetery, see if any leaves have changed.
Because it's Spooktober.
It's Spooktober! That's Seriously, I know the acronym, but I didn't put it together. So this guy right here, Henry Berg, is responsible for founding the ASPCA, the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. I volunteered with them quite a bit in the past. Oh, that's cool. Got some geese chilling. House is wonderfully clean, so Andrew is going to be painting in just a bit, and I am knitting on my ear warmer head wrap. Hello! It is a little bit later in the day. Andrew and I have stopped out to go get some like groceries and some supplies that we need for dinner for tonight, and then a few things that we need for our Sunday roast tomorrow. We're having some friends over, we're gonna cook a roast, do some roasted carrots, and yeah, it's gonna be delish, but we just need a few things. So we're getting those things now and then about to head back to the house and cook dinner. Stopping over at the garden just to check things out. Lots of dahlias blooming over here, but look at this one. This is Apricot Desire. It's one I wanted for so long, but I just couldn't find it anywhere. It was really challenging to find, and it's so beautiful, and there's so many buds on this one. Too bad it's starting to get cold now. And the very first Cafe au lait bloom is gonna happen, hopefully. The whole dahlia world seems to be obsessed with this one. It's a collarette called Apple Blossom, but it's just too fluorescent for me. I don't know, I'm gonna give it another year or so because I don't like to just edit out after 1 year because things can change so much from season to season, but I don't know about this. It is roasting time. We are preparing the roast like 6 hours ahead of time because every time I try to cook a roast in like 2 or 3 hours, it's never tender enough. So we're starting it way earlier today. I'm also gonna pre-prep a lot of carrots. I'm not gonna put those in just yet. I'll probably pop them in maybe like an hour, less than an hour before the guests arrive, but I'll go ahead and prep them now. I'm just gonna scrub them and then get like the marinade and stuff going on them. I'm gonna do olive oil, thyme, honey. Maybe if we don't have honey, I'll do like a little bit of brown sugar and then some mustard on them. Andrew is giving the meat a little bit of a brown on all sides to get a crisp. And he's gonna put that into this mixture of
Winston soup, Campbell's soup, and
by Campbell's soup he means cream of mushroom.
yeah.
And you're gonna put carrots, celery, potatoes, mushrooms,
Thyme, and probably a little oregano.
That sounds good. So far it's helping. I'm scrubbing my carrots, but I'm not going to peel them because I want to have some texture left on them, so I'm just scrubbing them really hard so that they still have that home style texture. here's the mixture. We've got Dijon, salt, pepper, brown sugar, a little olive oil, and then we're going to cut up some butter and also put in some fresh thyme later. It's time for a little crafty portion of the day. Andrew and I have been watching, what was it called? Harley Quinn, which is really cute. I'm normally not a superhero stuff kind of girl, but I really like this one. It's fun. But we're taking a little pause to do some crafty stuff, and I've decided to cut out an Agnes top with some of the lyrical fabrics pointelle that I showed you in a previous vlog. I think the Agnes top will be a good one to use for it. I want to modify the sleeve a little bit to be more like this one actually, like slightly more cap-ish. And then I always have to lower the neckline on Agnes. I have to lower the neckline on a lot of stuff because I'm really tall right here, I find. And so I either have to like lengthen the shoulder so things don't cut me off in the armpit, or lower necklines so that they're more similar to what you see on other people who make the pattern. Like the way the pattern is designed is what I'm trying to say. So I lowered the neckline, or I'm going to lower the neckline on it, and I think that's really all the modifications. I'll probably also crop it a little bit because the Agnes top is quite long as well. Really, I'm just kind of using this top I'm wearing as a model. This is a ready-to-wear top that I got a while ago, and it's one of my favorite tops. I wear it all the time. Obviously not to like the office or anything because of this, and I won't be doing this slit, but I just like the length of this top. I think it suits me. Pinning the neckband to the shirt. And one thing I always do with this pattern in particular is change the length of the neckband. The pattern as drafted is too long. The neckband is only 10% smaller than the neckline, and in my opinion, it's not tight enough. Like, you want it to be smaller so that it like draws in your neckline, and I think it needs to be more like 25% smaller than your neckline. So if you make this pattern, I would definitely suggest making that modification, and I think you'll be a lot happier with the neckline. In the kitchen, starting our final prep. We've put the carrots into the oven, and I am making a fruit crumble. It was going to be just peach and blackberry, but the aforementioned grocery store terribleness has come to light again with half of the peaches. So I have peaches and then some frozen strawberries, frozen blackberries, and frozen raspberries that I already had in the freezer. This mixture is like really good. This is another Smitten Kitchen recipe.
But heavily modified.
Yes, quite modified because I'll be honest, I think she uses way too much sugar and butter in her recipes. And I'm no stranger to baking, but like I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but I'm just saying that like we modify recipes a lot to be a lot lower sugar and butter and it tastes just as good. I think there's just way too much. Apparently it's autumn harvest moon night.
Yeah.
So
You guys would host a dinner party on full moon night.
Well, you know, child sacrifices have to be done at these times.
yes.
The Church of Satan commands it.
Brittany, you're next up for the sacrifice.
You know what? Why not?
I would have a
This is
cheese
very
bridge if it was up to me.
Yeah.
Oh, Jafar, you are like.
Hey, Bob.
Think about it.
That's right. Influencing the masses with Jafar.
Oh, if I. We should talk about what